Hey, Jonathan here. I want to show you this mistletoe job I had. This is a black oak tree that's just completely covered in mistletoe. You can see it really well in the winter here with the leaves not on the tree. But you could also see it, even when the leaves are on there because it's such a darker color green. So mistletoe is a parasitic plant. It attaches to the oak and diverts all the nutrients to the mistletoe, killing the limb beyond the mistletoe. It's spread through birds. Birds eat the seeds in the mistletoe, and then they land on a branch, poop on that branch, and then the seeds take root and the mistletoe grows. So I'm going to go through this tree, removing all the mistletoe, all the dead wood, and pruning some limbs up off the garden. So here I am. I shot up pretty high. It's a really wide canopy. I have a pretty good central leader using a double rope technique. This is me cutting out some of the smaller deadwood and some of the mistletoe, working my way up the tree, trying to get the north side of the tree done first, and then heading back to the other half. So here's a big clump I'm cutting out here. All I'm really doing first is getting enough of the mistletoe out so I can see what's going on. And it's hard because we're looking into the sun here. But you can see this mistletoe is really kind of taking root into this limb. It's kind of the central leader on the tree, so I hate to cut the limb all the way off. The ideal is to cut the limb with the mistletoe off, unless it really deforms the tree. So instead I've cut this whole bundle out, and you can see its roots taking hold there, and I'm really trying to get as deep in there as I can to get all that mistletoe out of the oak limb. So I'm kind of using the tip of my bar to kind of clean all of those mistletoe roots out of the tree. I'm hoping that it won't come back. Again, the ideal is to take the limb off. There's a little mistletoe on this small limb I just took off. But if you can't take the whole limb off, because it's really going to change the shape of the tree, or it's, right in the trunk of the tree, then this is the next best thing. So there's me cutting down to get the bottom of the mistletoe roots out. Then here we are on the other side, taking out a few more limbs with mistletoe in them. And I think that'll take that whole clump right there off. Yep. Cutting out this big clump of mistletoe here. I didn't really want to take this whole top off, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just kind of breaking it off so I can see what we have. And then I'm going to swing around here and kind of clean up all those roots. You can see the mistletoe right at the top there. I can take the limb off like I'm doing right there. Then I do that to remove the mistletoe. And here I've pulled up my small silky Zubat pole saw. I'm trying to get some of these clumps out and small limbs out. Because the mistletoe is spread by birds, it's always like right out in all of the tips of the tree. So there's usually a lot of climbing involved in taking mistletoe out, which I like. I love that. And then taking out some deadwood as well. Sorry, you're kind of looking into the sun here. And then this is from the ground, taking off a limb. This limb kind of leans way over his garden. So actually, those are fruitless mulberries. I'm roping this limb down. You can see it just barely catches in the tip there. Then I cut it the rest of the way, and then it swings clear. And then now I'm on the other side of the tree now, the south side of the tree. You can see how gigantic these clumps are, cutting out the small limbs. It's a big bundle. It's hard to even tell where it's attached to until you cut it out. Big limb there. The seeds are in that mistletoe. You don't want to chip it, because if you chip it, you're just grinding up those seeds and kind of spreading them out. The best is really to put them in a garbage can and bring them to the landfill. Then at the bottom here, I'm just cleaning up a little more deadwood, cleaning the whole tree up. I think I got every one of the bundles of mistletoe out and got almost all the deadwood out, and then lifted up the canopy a little bit off of the garden on one side. and I'll walk through on the other. So it's a good point to say, I'm an arborist, I've been well trained, I've been doing tree work a long time. Don't ever do this unless you're well trained. There's a lot of risk involved, and you really should never be up in a tree with a chainsaw unless you're well trained. So here's the tree when I'm all finished. You can see it has the exact same canopy as when I started. Really no extreme cuts, but there's no mistletoe in it, and I've kind of removed almost all of the dead wood. So it's a beautiful black oak. This spring it'll bud out and leaf. Taking that mistletoe and the dead wood out really returns it to good health. It's a great thing to do for your trees. Here's one of the branches I cut off. Let's see if you can actually see the attachment point. So there it is attached to the limb. Here, I'll cut out a block of wood and try and show the camera here. Let me cut off the mistletoe and cut out that block of wood, and you'll be able to see how deep it grows into that limb. So there's that limb. That's where I cut the mistletoe off. You can see all that root system of it there. That right there is the root system of the mistletoe. The tree is trying to collar and seal it out right there, but that mistletoe will just grow right in there and divert all the nutrients to its growth and kill the tree's growth. So that's what that mistletoe root looks like. The more you get out, the better. Here's a limb I cut off. That mistletoe is dead. It attached to that limb, killed the limb, diverted the nutrients to itself, killed the limb, and once the limb was dead, the tree stopped sending nutrients up that way, so the mistletoe died out as well. So the reason why you got to get rid of the mistletoe, wherever it attaches, the limb beyond that point will eventually die because it's getting no nutrients, because the nutrients are going to the mistletoe. And then this is a project I did. These are wooden coasters I made. Actually, I made these out of olive wood, but the base here is out of a mistletoe piece of oak. I kept this piece of oak and milled it into lumber to show how pretty that mistletoe rooting is into the trunk. So the outside of the oak collared up and sealed, and that's where the mistletoe got its roots into the limb, killed the limb, and that's why I removed it in pruning, and then I made this coaster stand out of it. Okay, hopefully you learn more about mistletoe. If you like, please subscribe and hit likes. Love to hear your comments on this video and how you remove mistletoe.